That's
Hello.
loud. It broke my earballs.
It broke everything.
Welcome to the.
What if it did? Oh my god.
That is terrifying.
That is a
Take
terrifying
that picture of him down.
Oh, I know. Why did we do that?
Nope.
It looks
Why did
awful.
we even do
It's
that?
staying up there.
It looks terrible.
Don't get rid of it. I like it. It makes me know John is here in spirit. Oh,
Just leave the text.
That just. Oh.
So do we just leave it blank, or do we
Not
try
fan.
to make it look nice?
I mean, we can.
Bye, John.
You're just sneaking in behind me. For those who watch this later, I guess, or on VOD, John actually has to wake up super early in the morning, so he can't play with us tonight. But he is around. But he's probably
He's just
going to bed
lurking.
soon. He's lurking, lurking in the background. He's just looking
Who
at me now.
knows what he's up to.
It's like his dog gonna attack me. Like.
What a creep. Good lord.
At least he didn't like start, rubbing your shoulders or something like that,
Oh, hey, Buster.
Quit it. You out of here?
All right, bye, John.
Later, homie.
What fun. What
We
fun.
will try.
We
not
have fun.
to-
We kid.
We
All
kid.
right.
We kid.
I'm gonna see if this looks halfway decent.
This
This is gonna be
what are you
all
doing?
not aligned. Oh, that's not too bad.
Oh, that looks good.
What are you doing? Oh wow, it's just us.
Yeah, we're more centered. It looks
I'll be damned.
more normal.
Did you guys
My
ever
camera's
make me
not in frame. Good lord, this is bugging me so much.
I mean,
Hey guys,
get out of studio mode. We don't need that anymore. That's really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
this is what the first 5 minutes of the stream is for, right? To
I guess. I mean,
still be setting up.
Yeah, I mean, we just come in and we sit down and we talk about our day and we talk about John's creepy photo and then we let him creepily lurk for a while and then we just kind of go
And
from
then
there.
he creeps out, and yeah. All right.
I mean, I'm all about creeping, so
Creeping.
I'm gonna creep in the chat right now.
You creep on that chat room.
There you go.
Get that chat party started. I'm creeping.
Chat party.
If you guys are gonna have me like streaming to this, I refuse not to be a mod anymore. Like if I'm
I'm not logged into the account, so that's up. That's on Doug too.
Doug, do it.
Oh, John's creeping in the chat now. Good lord.
He's gonna watch us from
He's
a room
He's gonna
away.
watch the entire show from the next
He's
room
not
over.
gonna
Right there.
He doesn't go to bed. He just watches the whole show.
Right. John.
Okay.
All right.
That's hilarious.
Get my station situated here.
I feel like we have a good episode ready.
Yeah, you
What are we
have like
talking
more things
I haven't looked at
this
the
time
notes.
than last time.
So I was thinking that we do like more shorties, more
shorties.
stories for a shorter amount.
Mo showed.
So tonight
I
we're
thought our
talking about
stream
midget
just needed-
wrestling.
Our stream needed mo shorties.
Mo shodies.
So
Oh,
we're going
off to a good
Bottle
start
in the
here.
club. Oh wait, no.
have more short stories to try to limit Jeremiah's rambling as much as possible.
Oh,
You know,
there's going to be no getting around that.
You cannot contain me, sir. Like it's,
I just thought like if we went into it like with the expectation that they'd be shorter, maybe it would be like a normal length of a conversation.
all right. Well,
Okay.
actually, I do have to kind
Worth
of keep
testing
it
out, I
short
guess.
tonight. Anyway, I got to be at work at 6 a.m. in the morning. So,
Oh man,
like,
everybody with jobs.
I know. If only this were our full-time job, probably be a lot more fun than a regular job, huh?
Who's starting?
Austin did it last time, so I believe it's your turn, right?
I guess.
Yeah, that's you, Doug.
All right.
So we can
Let
go
me
whenever you're ready.
Let me figure out what we're talking about.
So not only is
Oh
Doug
my god.
not only is Doug producing and doing the intro, he's
I know,
also
there's
running the
so
Twitch.
so many things going on right now.
Doug is the official
The-
producer for this episode.
This is
I'm
every
just gonna sit this one out, I
B-roll.
guess.
Every B-roll for this show is someone reading the articles right before we start.
It might as well be. Like
It's
All
it's
right.
incredible. So now we're just gonna have some dead air while Doug reads.
I mean, you guys just keep talking. I'm gonna buzz through these real quick.
Oh man.
Okay.
So what'd you do this weekend, Jeremiah?
I went to a Colts football game.
Yeah,
He read the articles.
I also did that. My cousin plays for the Atlanta Falcons now, and the Falcons were playing the Colts up in Indy. So
Nice.
Yeah.
me and Dad were like, "Let's go see Tyler." I was like, "Sounds like a good idea." So we went.
Did
and
you
watched.
actually get to see him?
Yeah.
just-
We ended up getting. He had some family passes for team meet and greets
Mhm.
after the game at will call for us, so we picked those up, and then after the game we just walked down there. Unfortunately the Falcons lost, so but they all seemed kind of in high spirits, so I don't think they were too affected by a week 2 loss, but
I don't think they're expected to be very good, so they're probably not like too worried about it.
neither were the Colts, so I was actually kind of surprised the Colts are 2-0 now. But
2-1, but
are they 2-1?
close. Yeah, they lost the first game.
Oh, okay.
All right,
so that was week 3.
You guys want to start this show about video games and not about sport games?
Hey, you, Mister. I'm gonna read the articles while you guys talk.
Anyway, my cousin is named Tyler Davison. He is a tackle on the Atlanta Falcons defense,
Oh,
and
he's a big boy.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude. So yeah,
That's
that's
good.
who I was rooting for the Colts to win because I've been a lifelong Colts fan, but I was rooting for Tyler to get like 4 sacks at the same time. So I was torn. It was a
That's
good
all
game.
right.
It was their first home game, so I got a free T-shirt out of it.
I heard sacks and torn in the same sentence. And I'm just
I actually watched the episode of The Office where Andy tears his scrotum last night.
Oh god.
So
oh yeah, we're working
What?
through that too.
Why won't it let you comment? My
What?
buddy said he couldn't comment.
In the
is he
chat.
following it?
Yeah.
Is he logged in?
I don't think we have it set
It's
to
gotta
like you
be-
have to follow us for 24 hours before you
You might
can
have
talk
to
in
be.
the
You might have to
comments.
be logged in. I don't think.
You gotta be
Yeah. Oh
logged
yeah.
in.
You have to be
Those-
logged in.
All right, let's get rolling.
All right. 2240. Hello and welcome to the Flightless Nerd Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Doug Pilcher.
I am another one of your hosts, Jeremiah Larnard.
And I am a 2 of your hosts, Austin Bradford.
I mean, you do count
And
for
that
2
makes
this time.
4 of us.
Yeah, because
John had to go to bed because he works early in the morning or something.
he's
Like
got
early in the morning.
he's got to set
like-
himself on fire.
Yeah.
Like in a
That's,
few hours.
Yeah,
early
he
in the
also
morning.
just got home from work a couple hours ago, didn't he? Or
Yeah,
didn't
he got home like 10 minutes before we walked in the door. So, and then we
Anyways,
dicked around
um,
with trying to figure out how to make the stream look a little decent again. But
Yeah.
it is
Still
what
creeping. He says he's still creeping in the chat.
like, are you doing
um,
that dance thing? Like, I don't know.
In case you guys didn't hear
That was a
last week, we
reference.
are once again live on Twitch, and that's how John is not taking part in this episode, but watching it from the next room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you are,
if you still aren't watching our live show, like what are you doing? This is where the party's at. It gives you a pass from having to or listen to the show later because you get to watch it earlier.
but
True.
also listen to it later because that helps too.
And as we
And we also don't
progress-
have to worry about how we're late on the news because there's like a 3-day gap in between our stories. So
That's true.
Yeah.
you can be up to date with us on Monday.
Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
So yeah, bullet point 1, John's not here. Bullet point 2, we're on Twitch. Bullet point 3, we're on Patreon. Go find us on Patreon, become a patron. We would greatly appreciate it because we love to keep our stuff ad-free to provide that crisp, clean experience for you. So if you want to help us keep the lights on and keep that going, find us on Patreon. You guys want to
Speaking
do a
of,
show?
Yeah, but real quick, I do want to say, speaking of crisp and clean, I want to give a shout out to Doug for creating this beautiful Twitch overlay
Mhm.
that he's got for us.
God, I'm
good
so
job
I'm
on
so
that.
OCD about it now too.
Yeah, like I may have screwed it up a little bit while we were setting up tonight, and he freaked out. Well,
Jeremiah,
he didn't freak out.
Jeremiah's
He just
over
was
here
like, "Give me
trying
the keyboard."
trying to set it up, and I'm like, oh no, that's like 2 pixels off, man. You gotta give me that.
I was in a hurry, man. I'm sorry. I wasn't pixel perfect.
Oh yeah, well I am.
Oh, fair
so,
enough.
hey guys, video games.
Yes.
Video games.
Are you guys fans of? You guys ever play like Call of Duty? And you guys looking forward to the new Modern Warfare coming out soon?
Yeah. We kind of talked about it when it was announced at, I forget which show it was announced, but we talked about how the new grittier version of the Call of Duty game is on the horizon. They're starting to do test betas for it, and it comes out in October. And I'm pretty excited about it. It's the first Call of Duty game I give a shit about since probably Modern Warfare 2.
Well, there was a beta this weekend, right?
I
Yeah.
believe it was.
Either of you guys play it?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
I'll just throw in these 2 cents here. I am not a fan of Call of Duty. I have never played any of them. So
the last Call of Duties I like legit played were Modern Warfare 1 and 2. So I'm interested in the, rehash of Modern Warfare, but I don't know if I'm like $60 interested in it, because it comes out like around the same time as everything else, right? I'm not
Everything's
crazy
coming
about
out.
that, so-
Everything's
it's in
coming
the,
out
like,
here
next
soon.
month, I think.
Yeah, like there's too much for me to play. I can't be dropping time into Call of Duty right now. I mean, you saw that list of stuff. I was like, hey, Austin, I'm going to try and review these games, and there's like 6 of them within a month, and that didn't even break the November, games that were coming out. So it's just like there's too much. It's just far too much for me to try and keep up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not the whole story, though. So go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I was gonna say the news here, the big news here is they are gonna be introducing crossplay, right? If I'm reading this correctly.
Looks like it. I was kind of surprised because Sony usually doesn't play nice when it comes to crossplay. Sony's usually I don't know. Like they're usually just like, no, we don't want to do crossplay. Whereas obviously you can always do it between Xbox and PC. So I was kind of surprised when they were like, yeah, we're doing it crossplay through all the platforms. That was kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the first. Obviously, Fortnite is doing it, and I think Rocket League is doing it. But this is the first like AAA, like big time franchise that's going to be breaking into the crossplay realm, and I think that's really important for games going forward because everyone wants to. Now that Call of Duty's done it, it's almost going to become a standard for games like this. Like, why don't you have crossplay? Call of Duty has crossplay, and I think that's really good for the industry. Crossplay, we haven't talked a lot about crossplay and what that means to the gaming industry on this show, but even though I don't see a big use for crossplay for me, I do think it's really important that that's an option for people, because there are people that do have an Xbox One that want to play with their friends on PS4, and I'm really happy that we're finally coming to this realization that crossplay isn't going to break the industry, and we can actually start having that conversation.
Well, I mean, crossplay, even in like a normal, like, everybody thinks shooters. Everybody thinks, like Fortnite and, PUBG and Call of Duty when they think crossplay. But crossplay is really for any game that has any type of multiplayer mode. So, like, Destiny, crossplay. Any MMO that's on a console. For me, it would be like Monster Hunter or fighting games. Like it's like, hey, I can play Mortal Kombat with people that are not just on PlayStation; they're also on Xbox or PC. So, I mean, like, it just gives you a bigger pool of people to play either competitively or not, or cooperatively with, which I think is cool. Like, just make the gamer circle bigger and all encompassing. You don't have to be like, oh, my friends have, because I remember I got the PS3 and all my friends got the Xbox 360. So all my friends would be playing a game and I'd be like, well, I got it on PS3, so I can't really play it with you guys, which sucks. But, if this is a sign of things to come, then, it doesn't matter what you have. If you're a PC gamer, you'll still be able to play with, people who are playing on the PS4. If you're like an Xbox gamer, you'll still be able to play with people who have it on the Switch, maybe. Just stuff like that. So that way there's no like, oh, well, everybody has to have the same console, and if you don't, then you're SOL. So I appreciate it. I like the fact that crossplay is becoming more mainstream of an idea now.
Yeah, it's definitely gaining some traction with like we got Call of Duty here, we got Fortnite. I know it's coming to Destiny down the road. So yeah, I'm hoping with this next generation of consoles and stuff like Stadia that it'll more developers will start putting this feature into their games.
Yeah, I mean,
because it really does. It brings us all together, and that's what gaming's all about.
I agree, and especially if they start doing crossplay between like the PC platforms too, because apparently everybody's doing a downloader now, where you got to have the Epic Game Store downloader, Steam, Rockstar's got one now. Like we need crossplay.
EA's had one.
Yeah, EA's got one.
I think you're dipping into less exclusive titles to launchers. I think that's what you're dipping into because, I mean, all those titles, if they're exclusive to a launcher, like it wouldn't matter if you could play it with people on Steam.
Well, whatever. I don't necessarily think it's exclusive to the launcher because, I mean, with Epic, the way they're doing it, it's all exclusive. But with Rockstar, basically, if you have GTA 5 on Steam or whatever, it sees that and you just launch it out of like it. If you have them all over the place or just installed in different parts of your computer, you can just launch it from the Rockstar launcher as opposed to having to open up whatever you thought it was in. That's the way I read that. I don't know. I downloaded it. It's a free game. It gave me San Andreas for free, so now I have San Andreas back on my PC, and that's all I really care about. I doubt I'll ever buy a game from it because I usually buy my Rockstar games on my PlayStation, but it is what it is.
Do you think you'll ever play San Andreas on your PC again?
I was actually kind of itching to do it during the summer drought, like right after I built it, and then I was just like, yeah, I got it at home, and when I got home and realized, I was like, oh wait, it's on disc, and my PC doesn't have a disc drive anymore. So.
I have it on PS4 and PC, and it's still a great game, but it is kind of difficult to play nowadays.
Yeah, so
it's just clunky.
I mean, like I played through GTA 5 not too long ago. I think it was like last year, maybe 2 years ago. When I replayed through it. Sometimes I just get an itch to play older games, like games that I like. And I never beat San Andreas. I got like to the point where you had to like blow up a tank and all you had was a machine gun, and I was like,
Classic.
So I'll eventually beat the game. So that's just one of those ones that's on my list of I need to beat this game eventually. So it's good to have it back and not have to pay anything for it. It's a free game. So if you got a PC that can play, GTA San Andreas, download the Rockstar thing and you can get a free game with it.
Cool. 3252.
You cannot keep me from rambling.
I don't know what I'm doing. I hope I'm doing it right.
No, you're doing it right.
Yeah, I think you just write down times, right?
You put in and then out at that, and then what I would do is just put like above it, just put crossplay or Modern Warfare crossplay, and then title what the sections are for you. And if you hear anything funny, mark down that for B-roll for John.
Yeah, because John wants to know when we're funny.
Never. I don't.
No, he just doesn't want to listen through the whole episode to find out when we're funny.
Blurg.
But we've already had that discussion.
Hey,
oh God.
He actually made an account. That's cool.
What are we talking about?
My buddy Andy. He's my Dragon Ball Z buddy.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Z is fun.
I agree. Lifelong fan.
I keep trying to watch those again, and it's just becoming difficult for me.
Try Kai. Have you watched Kai?
I don't think so.
It's like a short
What's
version.
the difference?
It's more
abridged.
It's not abridged, as they say, like the YouTube videos, but which are hilarious. So if you haven't seen those, watch those. Dragon Ball Z abridged. But Kai is a re-release that's more in line with the manga, so less filler, and it goes by a lot quicker. I think there's only like 170 episodes as opposed to 700 or 300 and whatever. So
I don't know, 300, 700, something like that.
Something like that. I mean, there's a lot of Dragon Ball Z out there.
There's a lot. There is a lot.
There is. But yeah, I mean, check out Kai. It's digitally remastered, so it looks a little bit different and just goes
I
by
didn't
quicker.
realize how much there is to the Frieza saga that I never remembered. There's
Yeah.
so much to that damn. I guess there's actually a whole Ginyu saga that I forgot about. It's
Yep.
not just the Frieza saga, like the Ginyu saga's in there too.
Now, Austin, what you need to do is you need to go and watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged if you haven't watched it yet. They go all the way to I think there's 60 episodes, and like they have movie specials and all that stuff, but they go all the way to the end of the Cell saga right now, and they're working on the Buu saga, but it's like a comedy version of Dragon Ball Z, and it's fucking perfect. Like if you know,
I don't know if I'd want to do it that way because
Trust
like
me.
I do appreciate Dragon Ball Z.
like they like the first like basically everything to the Saiyan and like halfway through the Frieza saga, they were just doing it for fun, and then they made it their full-time job right around then, and it just gets better and better as they go through it. So check out Dragon Ball Z Abridged and just watch like the first, like watch through the Frieza saga. You'll know if you'll like it by then or not. It's hilarious. Like
Andy says that Kai is garbage. So
Andy, you're garbage, sir.
oh damn.
Throwing
Damn,
some
he just
shade up in
created an
here.
account and everything. Just immediately gets called garbage.
Nah, he was giving me a shit about like one of the games that we play on mobile, one of the Dragon Ball Z games. He's like, shit. He was like, that character's garbage. It was Cell. Like I was like, I want to pull Cell because Cell's my favorite villain in Dragon Ball Z, and Cell's like, he was like, Cell's terrible. You suck. I was like, I hate you so much.
That's funny. That's funny.
Okay.
So, what are we talking about next? I forget already.
We're talking about Steam refunds in France.
Stimmy. This is not a short discussion.
No, but the other ones are very short. So.
All right, cool. Yeah, I guess I can go into it. Let me
Yep.
Lead
your
it.
turn.
Lead the way.
let me
Give me
open
one
up this web page. Okay, I think I got something.
Do we want to announce our next project at the end of this? I think that'd be fun.
Sure.
Oh
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's what we call a teaser in the
Stay
biz.
tuned.
yeah, right.
All right. Okay. Ready?
Ready.
3733.
So, do you guys like French fries?
I love French fries.
Or are we talking like shoestring or
surely you're
sweet
talking
potato
about
or
chips because I just got
Oh.
back from the UK where they are
My
called
bad.
chips,
No, here in America they're called French fries, sir.
which is odd, right?
this is
Well,
America.
actually-
We're the only ones that matter.
But not actually to this story though.
Yeah, weird transition there.
France does matter. So yeah, where they have the
No-
chips and wine and
What if that whole conversation just turned into a thing about fries and we
Yeah.
never got to the actual topic?
What's your favorite fry? Do you like the skin on or off the fry? Skin on for me, by the way. Sorry.
This is my nightmare.
So France has been in legal battles with Steam. And I'll just read the headline and we can jump right into it. French court rules countries' Steam users can resell their games. So they're talking basically saying, hey, digital goods, the people are buying them, and because they're buying them, you have to act like it's a physical product so they can return it. Well, not return it, but sell it back for a lesser value so they can trade in and stuff, kind of like they do at like a GameStop or something like that.
Or a McVans.
Or McVans or Pawn Shop or whatever.
Mhm.
I believe Steam's rebuttal to this was, we're not actually selling the games, we're a subscription service. So you're only paying for
That doesn't make any sense.
That was the
ability-
weakest argument I've ever heard in my life.
That was their
Weak-ass
argument.
shit
It's not it,
Steam's
and
bringing.
that is why that the courts ruled in favor of whoever was suing Steam. But obviously Steam can still appeal, and they're probably going to. So this is ongoing.
I think there's two discussions that we can have here, and we can get to what we think about the actual process of should you be allowed to resell your digital games. But let's have the discussion now about the actual case at hand and what they're saying. So that according to EU law, the reason this was brought to court, EU law states that citizens of the EU have the right to maintain free movement of goods within the union. So basically, under the law, if you are a seller or a creator of a good, you give up that copyright to distribute the moment the first sale was made. So that what they're saying is that also extends to digital goods, and then Steam is saying that it shouldn't extend to digital goods. What do you guys think of? Because to be honest, I kind of forgot that this never occurred to me, the option to resell your digital games. That's kind of just something that I assumed you weren't able to do when you bought a digital game. So what do you guys think about the potential to resell them?
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, like the biggest issue that that can come up of this is it would be very easy for people to just like pull the files for the digital game, copy them, and then be like, oh, I didn't want this, or I want to resell it, and still have the game. So there would have to be,
I guess what you would be buying and selling is like your license, your whatever key to actually play that game.
and
So you would, if you buy it from Steam, you need to be logged into Steam so Steam can confirm that that's something you own, something like that.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's a workaround for it. Like, I'm more terrified that they'll just put like like loggers, like or what did EA do where it was just basically it checked like every 5 minutes to make sure that it was like a legit version of the game, and it bogged down the game and broke the game. They did something like that with like Spore and the new Sims. Yeah, it's been a while, but like everybody was like, this is fucking terrible. And it ended up just not being good. But yeah, like I guess that makes sense.
Hi,
I didn't think about it like that in that sense where it's like, hey, you have to be a part of, or you have to launch it from Steam, but if they take away the authentication, there's no way to launch it anymore. But there's workarounds for that. PC, it's easy to mod PC games. It's just a weird. I like the idea of it, but I don't know how you implement it. I guess that's my biggest issue.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be they could assign a token to a game that's in somebody's library and have that be, because they track like each copy, so they have to have some kind of serial number or something assigned to it that they could track it that way. I just think it's interesting to what that would look like because I think Steam would want to keep it inside the Steam ecosystem, so they would have to have like a resale part to their store, which would be interesting. And I feel like they'd probably sell it for the same amount.
I feel like it wouldn't be a resell necessarily. Like you could just you can buy the game. You can buy the game. If you're the buyer, if you're the seller, you can sell it back for whatever, like lower cost of the game. But it wouldn't necessarily be a resell store.
Yeah, it's not like you're
from
selling
their perspective,
it to other
it's still
people.
just the same game that you're buying. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can just hand it back in, and then you get like a 30% credit towards your towards another game.
And I'd be okay with that. I mean, like even if it wasn't 30%, if it was like 10 or 20%. I mean, because it's more for like games that you have just like in your backlog that you haven't played. Like I have Arkham Asylum on my Steam, like from way back in the day.
I have so many games in my Steam library.
Yeah, like stuff like that where it's just like I played them like once or twice, and I was like, all right, well my computer can run them, and like that's cool. But it's they're 10-year-old games. I wouldn't expect like me getting $20. That was very loud. I was not expecting that. But I would
carry on.
I wouldn't expect to get like $20 for like super old games. Yes, I wouldn't even expect to get $20 for like a game I just bought, because it's just digital goods at that point. But I don't know what the like trade-in value, air quotes, trade-in value of all that would be. So I just don't know. Like, I don't know the logistics of this or how you would get it.
I do think it's a really interesting discussion because, like you said earlier, Austin, like digital goods, we've always just kind of assumed, like, okay, I own this now. I can't. It's just mine. This is money that I've spent and lost. But this kind of turns that whole industry on its head because now you can sell back your digital games.
This would be killer for GameStop. Like,
right, exactly.
Because if you can start trading in your digital copies of games, like there'd be no benefit to buying physical copies unless you were just like a collector.
Yeah. Well, then the other side of that, I was kind of expecting like, okay, GameStop can continue doing what they're doing just with digital products. But then it comes back to the discussion of like it would have to stay within whatever like the Steam ecosystem, so Steam can monitor that.
Then you have to buy a GameStop downloader.
Right. Yeah. I'd like to sell my Steam title back to GameStop, please.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, I just fuck. I don't know. Like, I think what makes me raise my eyebrow the most at this is Steam's rebuttal to Steam's like, hey, this is why we shouldn't have to sell games. Is Steam's trying to say they're a subscription service and you don't own the games?
That's just nonsense.
That was just a legal argument.
Yeah.
They don't actually believe that.
I hope not. Like, I hope there's not like fine print somewhere in Steam where it's like, oh no, we can pull your games whenever the fuck we want.
There probably is some fine script in there because it did later on the article say that there were other violations to EU rights in the, or not violations. It said that the terms of service from Steam claimed rights that they don't have, is what it said.
Yeah.
So there's more in there than just the reselling of games. And I know that this organization that took them to court is pursuing other charges against them. So there has been an update to the story today that I wanted to read real quick. The Interactive Software Federation of Europe has said the French court ruling last week contradicts EU law and should be overturned on appeal. Quote, this French ruling flies in the face of established EU law, which recognizes the need to protect digital downloads from the ease of reproduction allowed by the internet. Far from supporting gamers, this ruling, if it stands, would dramatically and negatively impact investment in the creation, production, and publication of not just video games, but the entire output of the digital entertainment sector in Europe.
I guess that makes sense if you're saying that people can buy the used games. Like, I mean, the used digital games, because, the creators get a huge chunk of the sales of a digital game, more so than a full-on copy, right, or a physical copy. But I don't think you would have to, or I don't think you could sell used digital goods. I think you would just be like, no, the storefront would have to like pony up some of their money. I don't know how they would pass the cost on to either the customers or the developers for people who trade in their games. But
thinking about it here, you either say you have like your license to the game that you buy from Steam, and Steam pays a chunk of that to the developer, then you can sell that license back to Steam, and Steam is paying you money for it. They're either going to put that license back into circulation and resell it, so the developer is going to lose money on that sale, or they're just going to take it back and Steam's going to be losing money from selling it back to you. So it's kind of lose-lose.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought concept. I mean, because like Austin said, you buy a digital game, it's yours, done. Like, that was the whole point of digital for however long digital's been a thing. But now it's like, well, maybe we can do some sort of trade-in on digital goods. I mean, like,
I don't think I want the option to trade in my digital games, because really the reason I buy digital is so I'm not tempted to trade it in, because most of the time I regret trading in a game because I want to go back and play it, and then I have to pay again for the game if I really want to play it that bad. But I like digital because it's there and I can delete it and re-download it whenever I need.
no, that's totally nice. It's just the biggest concern with digital is like when a game that you have is no longer available for download because of some reason, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I have that on my PlayStation 3. I actually have that on my PlayStation 3, and I have it for PS2, like, because that's one of my favorite fighting games. But after the Capcom and Marvel deal fell through, Capcom had to pull all digital, like, games off of the stores. So, like, if you did not have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 downloaded, or Marvel vs. Capcom 3 downloaded, excuse me, it just wasn't there anymore. Like, even if you bought it, you could not re-download it. Like, it just wasn't there.
Yeah, that's really rare. For the most case, if you've downloaded it, it stays in your library, even if it's pulled off of a store. But yeah, I guess that's a concern to think about. But again, I don't think it's the norm.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this is an interesting discussion. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I'll definitely be keeping my eye on it. I mean, it's only one country, but like with it being France,
It'll get
it's
everybody
not,
else talking about it.
yeah, it's
though.
not like it's a small country by any means. And
This definitely will make its way to the U.S. So it really won't have effect to anyone in the U.S., but it's fun to talk about.
yeah, we'll see.
51-32.
Bam.
We'll see.
Bam. Bam. Bam.
I like how you guys are just having your own discussion in the chat while we're also having a discussion.
It takes talent.
the recording.
You gotta be multifaceted when you're doing this stuff.
Well, we have to have multiple people talking to us in the chat for us to be able to do more on our Twitch stream. So if me and Austin are talking and get other people to engage with us, it's only for the benefit of the podcast.
Well,
Stream.
I'm just going to stop
Both.
arguing because we can just go on forever. Thank you, Andy, for the follow. I
Yes,
believe that was
thank you.
you.
It blew out my ears. That's why I was like, what the hell? I was not expecting it.
That'll be an odd little thing on the podcast.
It won't come through on the podcast.
I know, but just Jeremiah going, what was that?
Oh, yeah, I know. Which is why I was just like, just keep moving. Just move along.
I realized, like, it threw me off for a second. But then again, like, John walking around behind Doug kind of threw me off, too.
Yeah, he keeps trying to say things to me. I'm like, I'm trying to do my job, man.
What is happening?
That's funny.
My dogs.
What?
There's dogs barking.
Oh, I can't hear them.
Dogs. My dogs.
Dogs.
So
My
I
dogs are
haven't
barking.
seen this video. I have to watch this video tour so I can actually see what this looks like.
Which
haven't
video?
either.
The GameStop video tour.
There isn't one. I don't
I'm
think.
looking at it right now.
Oh, you are. I
Yeah.
thought it was just like a video news story.
No, if you go to IGN and like in the second paragraph, or in that link you gave us, the second paragraph, it says video tour,
Oh,
and that's
I see it now.
that looks like a GameStop with different colors.
Well, we could talk about it in the article, but
Oh, there's the difference. Okay.
They got new
Woo.
flooring.
that's fancy.
No, about a third of the way into the video, you'll see the difference. All right. I feel like, we need to. Should have put this up on the stream for people, but we haven't figured that
getting
out
there.
yet. We haven't figured that out yet. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
I was trying, and then you guys were like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Well, we'll get there.
Okay. I
You
see.
see him?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Feeling
Bunch of old
this.
CRT TVs.
You know what? Those are getting hard to find unless you live in Virginia and some dude with a CRT TV on his head drops it off on your doorstep.
Hey, free CRT TV.
That was really funny. That video was.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So now we know what GameStop's going to look like? Or is
Well,
this...
we kind of had this. Yeah. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it now.
We'll talk about it right now!
Shortly.
Oh, God. I just kicked my wire and my whole camera shifted.
Don't do that.
I'll try not to. There
All
we
right.
go.
All right, let's get this party rolling.
Rolling. Oh,
Let me change this.
no Limp Bizkit?
Roll quick.
I'm sorry. I forgot the standing rule of no singing Limp Bizkit on the podcast.
Was that a rule I made? I feel like I
That
make
was
new
like
ones
in the
every week.
third or fourth week.
Yeah.
Like no Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. I feel that sounds like something I would say.
Austin the
Is this my
Buzzkill.
turn?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure, why not?
GameStop store layout, please.
Let's do this.
Actually, use our stream for what it was made for.
Streaming?
Stuff. News.
Things.
Podcasts.
Things and people and live entertainment. As I'm
You're
dicking
just-
around with my camera. Sorry.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I
You
got
got it. Okay. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
5607.
All right, we have some breaking news from our favorite video game
Oh,
retail store.
It's broken. It broke.
No!
What broke?
The news.
Where'd it break?
Oh, I thought something actually broke. Good lord. You forget that I can't see you guys whenever
That's
we
true.
do this.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
like, I'm just
that's
like,
right.
what broke?
My bad.
But anyway, yes, it broke. And it's broken. Our favorite video game retail store is getting a redesign. It sounds like they're actually making some changes that could help their business model because they desperately need it. We are talking about GameStop. So the news was a leak of sorts was posted to Facebook of a video tour of the new store design, which is completely new from the GameStop that you are used to seeing, like the dark carpets, the dark walls, the red and black theme. No, this is like a very light theme, hardwood floor, looks really sleek, and they have some new features in it as well. Do you guys want to talk about them?
Well, it's no longer black and red, which was GameStop's, signature colors, which is okay. I guess it's easier on the eye. Kind of looks like almost like a clothing store more than a game store at this point, just with, and then as you walk back into the back with the area where you can sit down and play, cool, I guess.
Yeah, so back in the back there is an area where you can sit down and play.
Yeah,
looks like they got a bunch of CRT TVs set up with old consoles that you can play your favorite old games on, I guess.
Yeah, it's new. I mean, I think that's just kind of something they needed kind of a refresh on everything. I don't know if they're actually introducing any new ways for them to make money. But if they're making, I think one of the things we talked about last time we talked about them was them figuring out how to do more community interaction and make it feel like a mom and pop game store. I think that's a good start, having a way for people to come in, hang out, play some games together. That's a welcome improvement to what they have now.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if there's really anything GameStop can do to save GameStop at this point. I commend them for trying, at the very least. It'll be cool if there are a few stores within, shouting distance that it's like, hey, you can go here and play some games, with people. That's always a nice little thing to have. But in this day and age, I mean, so many people are just used to playing online. Those get-together, sit-in, arcade-y type places just really don't take off like they used to. Because back in the day we used to have you can go here and have a LAN party. You can go here and do a shut-in, do parties and all that, all-nighters if you wanted to. But now people can just do that from the comfort of their own house, and they don't have to. They don't even have to have people over if they don't want to. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna play Call of Duty all night long, and I'll have my headphones, and we'll just hang out. And if you want to come over, bring your TV. But most people don't do that anymore.
Well, that's why I think it's. I mean, notably, they have these 4 big CRT sets, and each TV has like a GameCube and an original Xbox and an N64 hooked up to it, which are not systems that you had online games to play with people.
Yeah.
So, like, if that's what you want to do, GameStop's going to be the place to go do it.
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm sure they have a shitload of old N64s, GameCubes, and original Xboxes laying around that nobody wants to buy.
No, they may. I mean, like GameStop, their old stuff that just zeroed out because, like, when I used to work for GameStop, it was just like, nah, just destroy it, throw it away. I don't know if they have a warehouse full of old game consoles that still work. Because that was not their business model. Their business model was newer games. Buying and trading new games, not old games. And I know they're going back to older games, and so maybe they do have like a big ass warehouse somewhere where it's just like, oh, we got a bunch of Super Nintendo sitting around.
Well, that's the thing. I think we've talked about this before, is they have to shift back to older games because of this new digital game model. That there's not the products to be moved around anymore.
I mean, I would be more interested in more areas or more places where it's just like, I can just go in and like, hey, look, here's an N64, and like I said when we talked about it, it's like, give me a shop where I can go and buy an N64, buy all the cables I need to hook it up to my TV, and a couple of N64 games, and make sure it all works, and I can test it all there. Like, I don't really need somewhere where I can sit down and play. Yeah, if you have an area.
Why sell it to you when they can charge you by the hour to sit there and play it?
I mean, duh.
Because I'm sure that's what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they that would be a bummer, but they probably are. You're probably right. It's probably charging by the hour, but hopefully it's just like kind of an open place for you to come in and hang out. But
yeah, I just
one can.
But
hope,
then the question is, how do they make money?
I think you would make money by re-engaging with the community and making people miss that and wanting to support that, so they would want to go out and buy a physical copy of a game, because they have such fond memories and a close engagement with the local store. It's not a guaranteed solution to that problem, but I don't think it would hurt.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nobody's going to go pay money to play an old game at a GameStop. I know that.
No. I mean, like, like they were saying, if they go, oh, we're going to have tournaments for, like, I don't know what kind of tournaments they would have, or what kind of tournaments they think would be popular. Like, me personally, I'd be like, have fighting game tournaments, but that's not really, not a lot of fighting game fans that aren't on the coast at this point, it seems like. But, just having a tournament like once a week or twice a week, like, you'd have to get people to show up, and how many people are going to be like, yeah, and I'm going to go walk over to a GameStop to be in a tournament, and hopefully get into nationals and all that stuff.
I mean, they're trying to get it started. They're trying to get that going.
Yeah, it has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's already places. That's why you have those huge E-leagues. That's why, League of Legends is as big as it is. That's why, like, these shooting games and these fighting game tournaments and all, they're already as big as they are. Like, I mean, it'll be cool to have more places, but I don't know if GameStop can chunk out or can carve out that much of a market for this to keep themselves afloat. I just don't. I don't know, but I don't see it. Maybe I'm crazy, but it is
a little concerning that they might have been pouring a lot of money into remodels.
Yeah,
though, because that doesn't sound
after
like they
firing
have any
everybody.
Money. Yeah.
Well, they had to fire everybody so they could pay for the remodels.
Right. What was it like? They closed 200 stores or something like that, which isn't much when you think about it, because GameStop is like
everywhere,
50,000 stores deep at this point. I mean, it sucks for the people who lost their jobs, absolutely, but I don't know. I don't think, like, if you have GameStops, a few GameStops in major metropolitan areas, like Louisville, like Chicago, like, Orlando, stuff like that, and you keep it down to like 200, 300 stores, maybe, but they got like 5,000 stores or something ridiculous like that. So I mean, even if they do like carve that many, I mean, even if they do decide we're going to make it a smaller, smaller market for ourselves, less brick and mortar stores, and they did that, I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable going to a GameStop at that point, because how many people are they going to have to fire to cut down that many stores? They're not going to have 3, 4, 5,000 stores when this is all said and done. And like, I get that they're trying to do it, but or trying to stay afloat, but it's like, how many people do you have to shit can to do that? Like, it just, I don't know, it's an uncomfortable situation, because a business that employs a lot of people is going out of business. That's what we're watching, and they're doing everything they can to not go out of business, but I don't know how much longer they can hold on. It's an interesting watch, but I feel bad for the people involved.
Yeah, and I just hope that everyone involved, if it continues to go downhill, are able to land on their.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see how this all plays out in the next few weeks or months. Probably not years.
Probably not.
We'll see. 105, 106.
I think we lost Austin like right at the end.
Yeah, we lost. You clipped out there. Can you say something? All right, he's good.
What?
Okay.
I don't know what I said either.
You clipped out at the very end, so I was making sure that we didn't lose you.
Yeah, I don't. Did I cut you off? I don't know if I cut you off.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I know. I saw you stopped talking, so I said something and then closed it out.
Hopefully, I didn't say something that like was super inappropriate for what you said afterwards.
No, I made sure it was. It followed.
I mean, even if you did.
What are you going to
Even
do,
if you
fire
did.
me?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Time for
Nothing.
I'm pretty sure
Jeremiah's favorite segment.
I'm pretty sure the 3 people watching are us.
Yeah, we're down to bare minimum here.
Yeah.
I don't like looking at the Twitch. We need to figure out a way that I can just see like our old setup,
Yeah.
Because
Well, what
I
we
don't
need to
like
do is get
watching the Twitch.
another camera. We're gonna have to get
That's what
an
we talked
entirely
about.
new camera and set it up, and maybe just have it. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you click on the, we can figure it out later. But
So
like,
if we get another camera, set it up like up there, so it can see all 3 of us.
Well, that's
and
the
then
thing. Discord
put that through Discord.
Discord wasn't picking up any camera like at all. So I don't know.
I'm not gonna mess with it right now.
It's just, I don't know if I had a setting wrong on it or something like that, but I just have to figure it out later. Just can't half-ass it is all. We need more time. Not enough time.
I'll go ahead and do this because there's not that many people here to see it.
I mean, us.
Yeah.
Where did we run out of? Just because we didn't have time to get over early enough, or
Are you seeing anything?
I'm seeing you.
OBS
Discord.
camera. What? You're seeing who? Me?
Wait, where am I supposed to be looking?
Discord.
On Discord. Are you seeing anything?
No, I don't see anything.
Okay.
I don't think the camera's turned on either. I think I turned it off so it wouldn't try to search for a camera. So
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
just
Well, we can figure that out later.
Click the button.
Oh, that's probably why there's no camera, because you turned it off.
Yeah. See, it was just loading. It never actually.
Well,
did anything.
he sees it. I've
don't-
noticed it does this.
I don't see it though.
Yeah, that's what it did all last week. It just never showed up.
But you were seeing a camera last week, weren't you, Austin?
No.
Try
Well, I
my
don't know.
camera, the C615. Just switch over, see what happens.
It may not work because we're using it in OBS.
Maybe.
But if we have another one that we're not using in OBS, we should theoretically be able to put that through.
You would think.
Anyways,
Sorry,
something else
Austin.
to test next week before we start streaming, because we're really good at getting all that done and set up before.
Well, hopefully we
start.
don't have to do
Yeah,
much
right.
more. Like,
Y'all probably.
That depends on how many scenes I decide to create this week.
all right, fair enough.
More scenes.
More scenes, Nave.
There was one. and it was one big image, and we didn't have time to set it up.
Yeah, true.
Still don't know what took so long.
Well,
OBS
first,
kept crashing.
yeah, OBS just like every time I tried to like do something, it was like, nope.
I'm
gonna
pretty
die.
sure it was because we had the marquee text. I had it set to a font that he didn't have on his computer, so every time he tried to set it up, it crashed because he didn't have that font.
Yeah.
What font was it?
Montserrat is a Google
You
font.
gotta get Montserrat. That's like the
one of the
font.
ones from our site.
Well,
Well, we lost somebody. We went from 3 to 2.
No, that's me. My stream crashed. So now I'm back on.
Yeah, because it was hard. It's hard to look at bangers. It's hard to look at bangers.
No, it's not.
It's hard to look at bangers
Oh.
scrolling across the bottom there. When it I don't know, when it starts getting really small, it's weird. So it's just was a more
Yeah.
friendly text to scroll across the bottom.
All right, let's
do it.
wrap this crap up,
Is it my turn?
as they say. Yeah. Are you reading?
Yeah. I mean,
Who says
I read
let's
it earlier,
wrap?
but
You said as they say. What did you mean by
let's
that?
wrap this crap up, as they say.
As they say. Well,
What did you mean by that?
as dung beetles are known to wrap their dung. Wait, no.
As the dung beetles say.
As a little dung beetle.
No, I just looked at the time, saw it was, 10:30 your time, 9:30 our time. I'm like, oh, I gotta be at work early.
Where
Well,
did my
now I'm
notepad
rushing.
go?
This like isn't even that late for it.
Yeah,
Oh, we're doing good on time.
that's true.
We have like a little over a half an hour's worth of episode right now.
Really? Well, I mean, by the time we all get done talking, I'm sure we'll have an hour. The last couple were cut down to an hour. That looks really funny from over
is
here.
it just WB Games Montreal? Is it
Yeah, it's Montreal.
the new one was like a specific dev, wasn't it?
No, it's WB Games Montreal. Because it's the same guys who did
Yeah, I know that.
Origins.
But the new one today was also
Yeah, I'm pretty
okay. It is just
Yeah.
WB Games. Okay, WB Games Montreal.
Montreal. Au revoir, sweet man, whores of Montreal.
I turned on V for Vendetta this week. I didn't end up watching it though, but it's on Netflix.
I think I've watched it once.
I've
Wow.
watched it once in theater and I don't remember any of it.
Like I watched it, like it was on like HBO randomly one day, and I was at my dad's house. I don't know,
Is
I
it
might have been
good?
drunk.
Isn't that considered like a good movie?
It was pretty good.
I haven't heard bad things about it.
Okay.
So that tells
Okay.
you whatever.
I see
Okay.
what you're saying. I see what you're laying down.
It was a movie.
It was a movie, a solid question mark out of 10.
It's a solid question mark out of 10.
Yes, solid.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do this thing.
Yeah, all right.
Were you gonna say something important?
No, I can wait till later.
Probably wasn't important at all.
Say important being the operative word there. 1, 13, 27. All right. Since we keep starting these off with random questions, you guys a fan of Batman?
Nope.
Who?
The Dark Knight?
I'm a fan of.
Savior of Gotham? Or wait, no, is that that's Harvey Dent?
Is that Harvey Dent? I don't
He's
think that's.
he's the White Knight, right?
He's the White Knight. Yes, he's the White Knight in the Nolan movies. That's for sure.
So Batman recently, like in the last couple days, celebrated his 80th anniversary of his first run from DC.
He's an
And,
old
like,
man.
Geez, well, it's 80 years ago in 1923. Is that right? Not
No.
what? Oh my God, 29.
Yeah. That's that's sure. We'll go with that.
All right.
I'm bad at math.
80 years. That's a long time, and he is still going strong. And to celebrate the 80th anniversary, WB Games Montreal posted something on Twitter
Little teaser.
Little teaser.
Little teaser
yeah.
picture.
So they originally posted, it was like a video. It was a short little video of just a building in, I'm assuming, Gotham City with the bat signal up on it. But there are a couple little moments where there are like little flashes of some interesting images. And then that was yesterday, right? And then again again today they posted just these cryptic images.
And also, I don't know if you saw the tweet, but the creator for one of the storylines made a hashtag that said "Beware the Court of Owls,"
Which he then deleted.
Yeah, and he was like, "Fuck." He got yelled at.
Whoops.
Probably got yelled at.
So basically, this is a soft. What do you want to call it? A soft announcement that the next Batman game
It's
is
a
going.
tease.
Yeah.
It's a tease. It's probably going to get announced tomorrow. Perfect time for our podcast. I bet they announce it at the State of Play tomorrow. But it does seem like we are getting a new Batman from WB Studios, Montreal, who did the Arkham Origins. Is that correct? And it seems like it is going to be based on the Court of Owls storyline, which is a very good storyline from the New 52 run. Like when it first started, it was very good. It was probably the best story from that run. It's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did. WB Montreal did a good job with Origins. Like, I don't think enough people played that game.
Origins a very underrated Batman.
I think it was better than Arkham Knight. Honestly,
for sure.
In Arkham Knight,
I thought it
came out
was
of
just
Rocksteady.
as good. I thought it was just as good as Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Arkham City is still the best by far. But yeah, just seeing all the villains as younger villains, because it was like Batman's first Christmas as Batman for Arkham Origins.
His first Christmas.
It was on Christmas Eve, so everything was all snowy, and like there's a bunch of psychopathic murderers.
Checking his list. Or
Twice.
making a list.
Yeah.
checking
I
it
have
twice.
not.
Yeah.
I have not
Checking
played
a list and making it twice.
And I haven't
That's
played
exactly
any of
what it
these
was.
Arkham games. I do have them all, and I've been.
You haven't played any of them?
I've played some. I've played some of Arkham Asylum, but I haven't played any. I haven't played them.
This is
I do have all of them. I've been
By
trying
saying this,
I've been trying
you knew
to.
this was going to happen. That I was going to be like, oh my god.
Oh yeah,
what are
no, I
doing?
know you
Play
guys are
'em.
gonna freak out. I've been trying to
I'm
figure out
just
what.
gonna let
Okay,
Austin
can
do
I
all the work.
say what I'm trying? Jesus Christ! I quit.
Bye. No, wait. We need you to produce this episode. Stay.
I've been trying to
This is
figure
where
out what
Doug
I'm gonna.
storms off
Okay.
and I just don't let.
I'm just gonna stop talking now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Not even.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what games I'm gonna stream here coming up, but I have all these games, so I've been thinking I'm gonna go ahead and stream the Arkham games, so y'all can look forward to me playing through these for the first time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I would love.
Now
to
you
see-
guys can talk.
you if you haven't experienced that story, I mean, it's definitely worth experiencing it. I mean, since you have the games, totally.
Yeah, there's some of the games I have sitting in my Steam library that I've never installed or played. Calling back to an earlier conversation.
Yeah. No, like Arkham Asylum was amazing. And Arkham City is just that much better because you get to travel around basically Gotham as Batman. Like the only better superhero traversal is Spider-Man, and we finally got you to play that. So that's
Oh yeah.
so yeah, definitely play through. I mean, Arkham Knight, take it or leave it. But if you want to do, I guess you could do. Do you have Origins?
I'm pretty sure I do. Which one was a free PS4 game? Was it Origins or Night?
Origins was
Night was
no Night was free this month.
Yeah.
Okay, I might not
but
have Origins.
I'm pretty sure
Origins is
Asylum
good.
and City were
I'm
free
sure.
at one
I'm
point
sure
too.
I have it. Yeah, I'm sure I have them all.
I just don't know about Origins, but yeah, if you get a chance, I would play Origins then Asylum then.
Because yeah, those are definitely the kind of the games where I'm like, ooh, I absolutely need to pick that up.
Yeah,
I just haven't had the time to actually play them.
Yeah, Yeah, if you play the first two at the very least, I mean they're great. You'll love them. That's why this news is so exciting. It's because like WB Montreal made Origins, it was great. And if they're gonna stick to that formula of the Arkham games, then I'm sure this is gonna be amazing too, especially with the Court of Owls storyline. Like there's so many different directions they can go with that. So I'm down. I'm down to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, we should find out more tomorrow, which I think it'll be at the State of Play. So
yeah,
you'll definitely be, at least I'll be reacting to it on Twitter. So
yeah, I'll be live tweeting.
I'm sure we'll be talking about the State of Play if anything comes up next week. Because of course it always happens right after we actually record for the week.
So yeah, State of Play is gonna be, probably have some Batman stuff. It's definitely gonna have some Last of Us stuff because Last of Us 2 has been teasing. So there's probably gonna be like 3 or 4,
we'll see,
2 or 3 big games.
I don't want to get my hopes up.
No, they've been like Last of Us has been tweeting, and
I'm not saying, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think we're gonna see them. I just don't think we'll get any like news. I mean, the Batman would be huge news, but I don't think a Last of Us release date is like a big deal anymore because like we know it's coming.
When do you think it's gonna be released? You think it's this year?
February.
February?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say like February, March, probably.
God, I hope not March.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, it's definitely gonna be March then.
I hope not March. I hope not April. Like I'd be okay with February.
We're getting Death Stranding in
next month.
Next month, right?
Man,
is Final Fantasy VII an exclusive? That's not, is it?
No. I don't
No. Okay, so that doesn't count. So that would make sense for it to be February for the next exclusive.
Yeah, I mean February. Man, that would be maybe December. Do you do a December release?
Not that soon. No, I wouldn't think so.
I don't know.
And they don't want to compete with Cyberpunk, which will be in April. So
Naughty Dog usually releases their games in March, right? Or am I crazy in thinking that? Because they're one of those studios that
I feel like Uncharted was in the fall.
Was it?
I feel like it was.
Well, let's see.
I have no basis for saying that other than I feel like
Summer.
It was.
June.
Okay, we were both wrong.
Yeah, totally. And that was Last of Us, the original. That was released in June. Let me see. Uncharted 2.
Well, I was thinking of Uncharted 4, but
all right, fine, 4.
That was in May, so it's like summer usually.
So maybe let's stay on that track record, and just.
I don't think they would announce a date and have it be like a year out, though. I think it'll be sooner than that.
Maybe not, because
we'll see.
Uncharted 3 was in November, so they're all over the place. They're not like God of War where it's always March.
So that conversation, basically, we just decided we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. So that's all question mark out of
saying,
yeah, we're speculating at this point, but yeah, we should see that tomorrow. We should see hopefully this Batman stuff tomorrow, and hopefully some other good things.
Do you guys want to see any changes from a Batman game or any addition?
From all these games I'm very familiar with and have definitely played through multiple times.
Well, not you, Jeremiah.
No Batmobile.
Yeah.
Get rid of the Batmobile.
Well, if they do it, they just got to do it better than Arkham Knight did.
I mean,
there was just too much of it in Arkham Knight.
And you literally shot people, and it was weird.
It was concussive rounds.
And ran them over going
Batman
50 miles per hour.
doesn't kill people, just like Spider-Man doesn't.
Well, Spider-Man, if you watch, he actually they'll web up to the side of the building if you.
They would still die for sure. He slingshots them into the side of a glass building.
Yeah, I've got a really great video from playing where he goes off over the edge and gets sucked into the side of the building, but he hits right on a flagpole. I've got a few good videos that I saved because I definitely wasn't killing anybody.
Spider-Man doesn't kill anybody. And if you look in Arkham Asylum, you can see people's heartbeats after you've knocked them out.
After you've run them over.
After you've thrown them off a 40-story building, and it just says unconscious. It does not say dead. Batman doesn't kill people. The only dead people in Arkham City in Arkham Knight are the people who are killed by the villains.
Yeah. See? What are you complaining about?
So, I'm complaining about the car because it was a shitty game mechanic.
It was just too much of it. Like every mission was like a car.
Yeah, like they found a shiny new toy and they were like, "Hey, we need to put every mission with this." Like even the Scarecrow missions were car missions. I was like, "Man, those were like the best things in the." No spoilers, but yeah, Scarecrows and
those are
games.
the best missions.
Basically, every rogue from Batman is in these games, so I can't really say it's a spoiler, but they all have their unique places. They just amp it up in Arkham City. So yeah, play those games, Doug. Let me know how you feel about them. They're good.
Okay. 125, 25.
125, 25.
350.
I realized for the first few of these, I did not do the milliseconds. Oh well,
you don't need to.
He'll figure it out.
No, I never.
You'll
do the
figure it out,
milliseconds.
John.
Yeah, John. I don't even know if he's still watching.
He's not.
I would hope he was asleep.
He saw he saw the email about Austin's donation and chimed in to ask what that was about.
That wasn't me.
Was it not?
No.
Somebody hacked your account then, sir.
I know.
Somebody hacked my Hulu.
Somebody hacked my Gmail.
Oh man, that's worse.
But it blocked them.
Somebody tried to use Kendall's EA account.
Oh, that was me.
Which I guarantee the only time she used that was to play Sims 2 years and years ago.
So apparently my Hulu and my Netflix were on the same password.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, I know, right? So I saw somebody got into my Hulu. I saw it was hey, there was a sign in Arizona, and I was like, well, that's wrong. So I changed my password on Hulu, and then I got an email the next day that was we changed your Netflix account changed its email address. I was like, oh shit.
They went ahead and took care of that
so
for you.
I could not get back in, and then the very next day it was hey, you've resubscribed to Netflix for $8, and I was like, no. So I had to call Netflix today and be like, yeah, somebody hacked my account. Can you guys cancel this and get my card off file, please and thank you, because I haven't had a Netflix account for over a year. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. And I was like, cool.
Identity theft is not a joke.
Luckily, the only thing they got was being able to watch Netflix for a day. So. Congrats!
Hopefully they got caught up on The Office, and that's
I luckily
Bears
the
beats Battlestar Galactica.
So yeah, change your password often, folks. That's my PSA for the night.
Such a pain. I have so many passwords. I can't be if I change them all when they recommend you change your passwords, I'd be just changing passwords every day.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm totally screwed if my.
Do you not do that?
You just sit there. You just block out creative time.
Here's my password for the day.
I'm totally screwed if my iPhone gets hacked, all these celebrities, because I have to keep all the passwords I have on my person. So they're part of my iPhone. I got a document with all my passwords. So.
So if you're trying to log into Jeremiah's stuff, all you need to do is.
How'd you get my email?
Get his iPhone.
Yeah.
I am not responsible when it comes to cybersecurity. I'll just be.
Oh no.
And we're IT people.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
Yeah, right.
Just can't handle that much work being that responsible. At least we don't keep our password on a Post-it note on our computer or something.
I keep it on a Post-it note pinned to my shirt.
Yeah.
It's part of my nipple ring.
It's tattooed on my.
Yeah. That's part of my tattoo right here.
Every time I get hacked, I have to get
change
it
your
crossed
password every
out.
90 days.
Get it crossed out and get a new one.
What? What?
My whole back is just covered in.
Have you seen Memento?
Passwords.
It's kind of like that, except it's my passwords.
Only problem is after
That's an old reference.
After 6 months, I can just reuse the old password, so I have a bunch of the same passwords written like on my back.
Oh, I hate when stuff's like, well, you have to reset your password every year, and also you can't use any of the last 5 passwords that you've used.
It's like, I don't know what I used last time, so you go through every combination.
Password 6.
Nope, not that one.
Password 7.
Nope, not that
So
one.
whenever
Alright.
you type in the password you always use, and then it says wrong password, so you change your password and you go to make it what you always make your
Right.
password, and it says
You
cannot
can't
be
use-
your last password.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, you just told me.
That's when I leave the password reset and go try and log back in again. Usually
Yes.
works.
So yeah,
All right.
I had
Let's
Netflix
wrap
again
this.
for a day, or someone did. All right, so this me?
Yeah.
This you. All right, let me get your time.
We could all technically talk about the same thing right here. You know that, right?
What is that thing?
Dungeons and Daddies.
I saw you guys have that on there.
Mm-hmm.
We can this can just be our Dungeons and Daddies segment.
Like us
Yeah, you just
pimping
wanna
somebody
gush
else's
about it?
podcast.
No,
I'm down.
I mean we're always pimping.
I don't
other
want to
people's stuff. That's
spoil
what this whole
anything,
section's
though.
about.
Like, it's
Yeah,
gonna
how
be-
far are you, Austin? I guess we'll get into it.
I just
You can-
finished
Wait, just
episode 3 today.
Oh, all right.
I mean, he can start, and then we can, or I mean, you can tell him to. All right. 1:30:52.
So that was our little news tidbits for the night. Hope you enjoyed that. If not, I'm sorry, because we're going into probably your favorite subject. What's on our plates? If you don't care about the news and you just care about hearing what we're playing or doing over the week.
We've apparently all been sharing a plate this week.
We have been. We've been. It's like a big plate of nachos, or cheese fries that we've all been like
Mhm.
picking at.
Mhm.
Austin, what is that thing?
Jeremiah
we have
keeps
been-
double dipping. God.
Yeah, I know you guys want my
Gross.
saliva.
Always just double dipping his chips all in my dip.
Mm-hmm. Well, I bite a piece off of one end and then
Oh,
I
you
turn
gotta turn around the other
then
way.
I turn the
yeah.
chip so I
Oh,
can
yeah.
get more.
You-
So you don't
of course.
actually get like I do it the right way.
You're a pro double dipper.
Yeah.
You're right.
I've been doing it for 30 years. So Austin, what's been on your plate, man?
Well, I have been playing Borderlands 3 still. It's still fun.
Still
It's
good?
Still good. I haven't gotten to play it a ton this week. I've only gotten to play when I've been like had a few minutes here and there. But that's what's great about that game. You can just pop in and shoot things for a few minutes.
So I watched some reviews on Borderlands after our last podcast, and I've heard
Yeah.
it has had some troubles out of the gate. Is that true? Have you seen
I
any
haven't.
of that?
I haven't experienced any problems.
Technical
Okay.
difficulties?
Technical difficulties like, laggy, bad frame rate, co-op, or not co-op, but
Yeah, we talked
Online
about
not
last
working.
week a little about the like couch co-op. There were some issues with that.
yeah. And
I personally haven't had any issues, and also have not played much this week, but
Yeah.
really looking forward to soon.
Mhm. They
people
did drop
people not liking the story as much as the other two or something like that. I don't know. I guess that's preference at that point, right? You don't
Yeah, I
play Borderlands for
mean-
the story.
Yeah,
No,
you're
you
not
play it
really
for the
in it
guns.
like, yeah, it's not really meant to be like a gripping story. It's just a dumb sci-fi story about vaults and guns. So, and I haven't experienced any technical difficulties. They did drop a patch, I noticed this week, so hopefully that addressed any that people were having. I have Randy Pitchford's tweets notifications turned on, so I've been getting those codes for those golden keys.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Nice.
I've been hoarding those. He's been tweeting out like once a day usually.
Is there a
with the
chest
key
already? Do you
code.
know where the chest is for those?
Yeah, it's in the sanctuary ship.
Which I have not gotten onto yet.
Yeah. You
Spoilers.
should get on there soon.
Yeah, I just collected fuel for it.
hmm There's sites that you can go to and see all the active keys, but the ones he's been tweeting out are like they're only active for like 3 hours. So it helps to have the notifications on because you can redeem them on the website this time. You don't have to redeem them in game.
I thought you could do
Which
that
is
before.
Oh, maybe you could. But
Maybe
I know you
like
can
towards
now.
towards the end, anyways. Or
Yeah,
later
I
on.
remember when I first started, you had to get on the
Yeah.
game in Borderlands 2, and that was always a hassle. But now you can just do it. He tweets the link with the code, so it's really
So
easy to redeem it.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
super easy.
Excellent.
I'm gonna do that.
Yep.
Right
it's
now?
Definitely
Right now.
recommended.
Right now. All right. Sounds good.
So I'm gonna keep playing that. I'm probably gonna stream it on Tuesdays for a while. I'm gonna start streaming on Tuesdays on the Flightless Nerd Twitch,
I'll try
so
and
you
get on there
can
with you.
catch some stuff. Other than that, I've been listening to another podcast, which is what we've all been sharing lately. Doug
What
was
I
the one
dished
that
up last week.
Yeah, this is the one that he has.
Was that last week? It was a couple
sharing.
weeks
It was
ago.
last week.
I don't remember you even talking about it, honestly.
It was probably when you were gone.
Might have been a couple
Yeah.
weeks.
I was telling you guys about it, but I talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you talked about it more than once because I was finally like, fine, I'll listen to this, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah,
Like,
Doug was badgering me to check this out. Dungeon Daddies, what we're talking about. He's been badgering me to check it out, and it is great. It's so funny. It's the best Dungeons and Dragons podcast out there. That I've
probably,
heard.
yeah.
So-
I mean, I binged it. I couldn't stop listening to it. I've caught up completely now. And
There's like 17 episodes.
17. Yeah, there's
I think 17 episodes, right?
17 plus a mini side quest episode. So
Yes,
I think
because
like,
that's the next one I have to listen to.
yeah. So it's like it has nothing to do with the actual story, but it's their BDSM podcast. That's what they call it. That's because they always open up with this is Dungeon Daddies, not a BDSM podcast, but like when they do the side
Everything
quest,
they do ends up being super BDSM.
it
Yeah.
is 100%
It really is.
BDSM podcast for the side
So-
quest. So enjoy that.
If anybody that wasn't listening to when Doug talked about it before, it's basically just a podcast about Dungeons and Dragons, but the hook is the player characters are fathers from modern day times that were sucked into the world of Dungeons and Dragons, and they're looking for their kids in this world that they lost. And it's really funny because they're all just really bad dads and complete idiots in the way that you expect a bad dad to be, and them interacting with fantasy characters is just hilarious.
Yeah, it's I was not expecting it to be as funny as it is, but
I know.
I forget
Just
how-
right out of the gate, the first episode too.
Yeah, I forget how funny D&D can be, even if you're not trying to be a comedy podcast, because like you're literally in a world where anything can happen. And you know, the times I did play D&D with my friends is just like those are some of the times that I've laughed the hardest in my life, just because of the random situations we'd get ourselves in. And these guys just crank it up a notch, and I'm so glad that they're like, we're gonna do this and record it, because they're really good at it. Like, it's a great podcast to listen to. So if you're into Dungeons and Dragons and you're looking for another podcast, I highly recommend you subscribe to the Dungeons and Daddies podcast, because they're awesome. I'm sure we can like put a link to them in our iTunes or whatever, the description for this episode, so that it's easy to find.
Yeah. For sure.
That's what I've been doing. Just been playing Borderlands, working, and listening to that show.
Yeah.
Who
Okay.
wants to go next? Doug, do you want to talk about what you've been doing?
Well, I've actually not been listening to much Dungeons and Daddies this week.
Blasphemy.
My wife and I have been listening to it together, so we usually only listen to it when we're driving places, which is like a 20 or 30-minute drive to get anywhere because we moved out into the middle of nowhere. But yeah, we just haven't listened to it much this week. I have been working on setting up my PC. We just moved, so our house is disheveled and everything's in boxes, but pulled all that out, got that all set up, got that all ready to stream. On top of setting up everything for the Flightless Nerd Twitch stream, I've also been putting together my own stream. So I will also be trying to stream on the Flightless Nerd Twitch channel. I think I'm going to be taking Wednesday nights, and then also on my own channel whenever. I don't know. I'll let you know. So what about you, Jeremiah? What you got going on?
Nothing.
All right. So
Nice.
that's the Flightless Nerd podcast.
I'm still waiting on getting my office ready before I can start streaming again, because I was streaming out of my living room, and super annoying having the dogs walk by on hardwood floor while you're streaming. I'd like to have a door to close so that they can't get in and out of the room while I do it.
Let those puppies on your stream. Everyone loves
People
puppies.
will love puppies.
Well, I may let them in, like, or I may keep the door open, because there is carpet in the office, so it wouldn't be as bad. But it was super annoying when I was trying to do it, beforehand. And I'd like to rearrange my setup and all that stuff, and I just got to get my office cleaned out before I can do that, and that's just going to take a while. And hopefully I'll have it done before the end of the month. And then I'll take a random day to stream on Flightless Nerd, and I'll probably just be streaming on my own channel too. I don't know, because I like streaming. It's fun. Like I'd have no problem doing it. It's just I wanted the setup to look nice. Like I got to compete with our own channel now, so I got to make it look good. By the end of this, Doug's gonna have to like make us all matching.
I'll get you set up.
Yeah, right.
I'm set up on my living room right now. It happens to be where my quote office is, because what is going to be my office is we're still working on painting it.
Yeah. Well.
Eventually I'm gonna have to move all that and reset it all up. But
I think when I do get my office set up, I'm gonna do a green screen though.
Yes, I want to get I'm in front of like big windows, so I found a blanket big enough to cover it, and like 12-foot ceilings, so these windows are huge. I had to find a blanket big enough that I could hang in front of them. So
that was kind of my problem too, is there's a lot of light in the room that I'm in. Like it's just, I mean, it's doable, but it got on my OCD too much to be streaming out of my living room. So I to get the office set up, I'll have to buy another TV, another monitor, blah 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 blah.
If I get a green screen, I'm gonna put that picture of John at the beginning of the screen.
Oh, for sure.
as the background of it.
Just the entirety of your stream, like.
Oh yeah.
That's terrifying.
Oh, it will be.
Okay.
Only when I'm streaming in October for
one.
the spooky games, though.
That if you're watching on Twitch, or if you go to our Twitch, there's a picture of John.
We almost just put this up the whole time. I don't know whose idea that was, but
that was a really bad idea.
Well, I told John to send in the picture so we could Photoshop him on fire, but he forgot to send us a picture beforehand. So that was the picture we got before we left the room. But
it's that portrait mode.
Yes.
I know this is really great listening for you folks at home listening to the podcast.
Get on the stream.
Right.
No,
we'll post it on Twitter.
Yeah, totally. But I've also am still chipping away at Monster Hunter, and I'm real bad about it, because it's like I could just play through the story, but it seems like every time I do a story beat, I'll be like, or I can do the next story beat, or I can go hunt this monster bunch and like make these weapons and do all this random side stuff that I haven't done yet.
I haven't. I've heard you talking about Iceborne way less since it came out than you were whenever you were like excited for it. Is it not as great as you were hoping it was gonna be, or is it just you've been busy?
No, it's fucking amazing. And I really am only getting like an hour or two a day in, because I have been busy. I just haven't been talking about it on the stream as much, or on the podcast as much, because I can only say so much about Monster Hunter. Everybody gets the gist of it at this point. It's you go out, you kill monsters, you make armor and weapons out of.
Was I gone when it came out? Because I feel like you didn't talk about it at all.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because it came out 2 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, I must have missed that episode.
Yeah, it came out a week before Borderlands. So I mean, I've been playing it consistently. Like, let's put it this way: like, every time I sit down on my couch, I'm like, I could play some more Zelda and get further into that, or I could play Monster Hunter, and I always pick Monster Hunter. Like, I haven't played any Zelda since the last time I talked about it, and I kind of feel bad because I know it's a great game, but I've been hooked on Monster Hunter. I am about. Well, I don't know how far I am in the story of it, but I killed Velkhana for the first time, who is the monster, or the big dragon that's on the box art for all the Iceborne stuff and all the promotional material. Like, and I assume that's about halfway through the story beat of it. But I've just been chipping away at it. Like, like the mechanics are great. Each weapon has new mechanics on it, and I'm learning more weapons. Like I picked up Greatsword for the first time ever because they started bringing comedy weapons back into it. So, like the first Greatsword I got, it was a giant Marlin, just
Of
frozen.
course.
And you basically
That-
walk around and smash monsters with a giant Marlin, and I find
Is
it
it
hilarious.
blunt
like
or is
that-
it sharp?
It's sharp.
I want more of that from that game.
Yeah, totally. And all the armor looks amazing. Like every time I unlock like a new armor where it's like, hey, this is the stuff you need for it, and it pops up and you can preview it. I haven't seen a bad looking armor on Monster Hunter Iceborne yet. Like they all look cool in their own way.
They were all pretty good for the main game.
Yeah, but I mean they just made them look even better. Like all the high rank armor looks different compared to like the lower rank armor now.
Now, is this something that you need to finish the whole main story before going into, or is this something you could just do
No,
from the outset?
I believe you have to finish the main
Okay.
story of the first game before Iceborne unlocks, because it really is.
It's
the
just
main
a continuation of the story then?
Yeah, basically, because they put in master rank for Iceborne, which is like from the old Monster Hunters would be G rank, but you have to play through the story to unlock high rank stuff like
Yeah.
we were doing when we were playing, and then after the high rank stuff unlocks, once you get to a certain point, then Iceborne opens up and it's like, all right, now you can go into master rank, and really that's all you have to do. You really don't have to do anything in high rank once you get to master rank, because once you start making stuff like armor and weapons in master rank, they're just so much higher stat wise than
Mhm.
anything you can get in high rank or any of the tempered stuff you can get. It's just there's no point to keep playing the high rank stuff unless you're like need to like, oh, I need to like make this weapon tree, so I need some high rank stuff. Like, but it takes me like, I don't know, 5 minutes to kill a high rank monster now. Like I can, it took me 15 minutes to kill an elder dragon twice on high rank, when it would take me like a half hour, 45 minutes one time before Iceborne came out, just because my gear's so much higher than what it is. But those monsters respawn, and they have master rank versions of them, so the game is tough. Like I die a bunch, like just playing through it, just trying to figure out the new monsters' attack patterns and all that stuff. But I mean, it hasn't been so tough to the point where I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not gonna play it tonight. And it's just like, no, I want to beat this guy, and then I decide, oh, now I'm gonna make this weapon. It's a grindy game.
For
but-
sure. Yeah.
but it's a fun grindy game, and that's all I've really been doing. Like I haven't even thought about playing anything else. Like it came out 3 days before Final Fantasy VIII remaster came out, and or vice versa. I think they came out within 3 days of each other, and I was like, I can't wait for Final Fantasy VIII remastered, and I haven't even thought about picking it up because I just know I'm just going to be putting more and more time into Monster Hunter. So hopefully I get it out of my system before Death Stranding comes out. But that's just what I've been playing. Like, so
Cool.
yes, I'm still excited about it, Austin. It's still an amazing game, and I wish
can
you guys
tell.
were playing it and not Borderlands, but to each their own.
147.55.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Like a rubber.
Do you want to do that, Austin?
Do the whole outro or just that
Just-
part?
Your special announcement? I don't know. You could do the whole thing, I guess, if you want, but
Go ahead and lead us into it, and then just turn it over to me.
all right.
For the
And then we'll make a note to make sure John puts in the title that there's something at the end, like a special
Yes.
announcement at the end.
So we're officially announcing it, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think for launch? Like in
do
November?
we want to give a launch, or do we just want to say this is coming?
I was thinking like a window.
Because we need to actually get it going first.
Yeah, let's not do a launch day yet, because
I don't think a launch date. I was just gonna
Later
say
this year.
like this
that-
year for sure.
Is that like
Yeah.
enough time, but also gives us a
I was just
deadline,
gonna say
kind of?
I was gonna say in November, but I cannot if you guys.
I think it's
don't
just a
want me to.
month and
I don't
a
know.
half at the very least
I
to
don't
figure
wanna-
it out.
I don't know. Whatever.
It's a lot of
If
stuff we
if
got to
we're late,
figure
we're
out.
late.
Look, yeah, that's what it is. Get there eventually.
Don't have that much to figure out. I feel like most of it's on me.
It's true. And then also just scheduling.
Well, the campaign, but like figuring out where we're gonna play at, how we're gonna record it, because we can't
planning.
really record it in
No,
this,
this room is not gonna work.
not if we're gonna have an extra person in here.
Right.
So
All right. Well, we'll figure that
yeah.
out later. 150. 3, 2, 1. 150. All right. That's going to do it for the Flightless Nerd Podcast this week. Before we get into the our little outro here, we have a special announcement for you. Take it away,
Yeah.
Austin.
So we've been, talking about new things that we can do on the network, and we've been floating around ideas, and we a new show that we are going rolling out in the next few months here, hopefully in November, maybe December, just depending on what schedules look like for us in recording. But in line with what we talked about in the What's on Your Plate, we've been listening to a lot of Dungeons and Dragons podcast, because we are going to be doing our own. We are going to be creating a campaign based on Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition rules, and we are going to be doing some real play D&D for our next show. We don't have any idea yet. All I know is that I have been for the last couple of months writing a campaign, and everyone else has been working on creating their characters, and I think that we've got the basis for something really interesting, and I'm really excited for you all. So we wanted to go ahead and share it with you and let you know there are some things in the works that we're really excited for, and I think that you all will enjoy those.
Have we decided if we're going to make a completely separate podcast link for this, or are we just going to add it on top of the already podcast that we have and just make it a double release, or release whenever we release it?
This is going to be its own show, right?
Yes, this is going to be its own show separate from the Flightless podcast. It is still going to be available on flightlessnerd.com, but it will have its own feed, and obviously those details will be communicated rigorously whenever that launches, because we're going to make sure you know where to find that. And I'm sure that we're going to the first episode on the Flightless Nerd podcast feed, so that you would find that and know where to go going forward. But yes, it is going to be its own show, still under the same network, but yeah, different.
Cool.
Sounds like a plan.
Looking forward to that. And I hope
Absolutely.
you all are too. So that is actually going to do it for the Flightless Nerd Podcast this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to show us some love, help us keep the lights on, help us get some of these new ideas we have rolling, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/flightlessnerd. We really appreciate your help. You can find us on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, which should cover pretty much all of the podcast apps, or on our website. If we are not on a certain app that you like to listen to your podcasts on, then let us know so we can figure that out. If you have questions or comments that you would like us to discuss on the show, you can send those to podcast@flightlessnerd.com. If you would like to get involved with us and be a part of some of these projects we have coming up, or if you want to write reviews for our site, you can email us at contribute@flightlessnerd.com, or you can go to flightlessnerd.com/contribute and fill out a little form there, and we'll reach out to you and we can figure something out. You can also reach out to us, probably not about the contribution stuff, but if you have questions and comments, you can find us on Twitter at @flightlessnews. You can find me. I am at DA Pilcher.
I am at Ryu Omega 33.
And I am at the Lost Cause Kid.
And that is finally going to do it for this week's episode of the Flightless Nerd Podcast. 1:54:09.
Au revoir, as they say in France.
Who says what?
Au revoir. How do you say it? Au revoir.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
Au
Orville
revoir.
Redenbacher?
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Oh, it's French, so it's probably just like.
Hmm.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, fair enough.
What'd you guys think of the show?
That was good.
Went by pretty quick. So,
Blarg.
blarg. I decided to type in the chat one last time.
Thank you to everyone for watching the stream. Those of you that did.
Yeah.
And those of you that are watching the
always-
VOD in the future.
Yeah, we should be live on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, depending on Doug's schedule. We'll see.
That's the plan.
We'll definitely be back next Monday. So, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you for watching.